Hello, everyone. Welcome to the You Gotta Be Bullshilling Me podcast. This is your host, Brian C. Schilling, live from Los Angeles, California. News of the day, Kim Kardashian files for divorce with Kanye West. Who cares? What a joke. Who's going to be her next victim? It's the final season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Thank God. And Tiger Woods was involved in a very serious and horrible car accident this morning. Let's all pray for him and his family. Today on our show, we have a very special guest. She's hot, she's got the trot, and on our show, we drink Red Bull to pump us up. Arisce Wanzer is a transgender supermodel, 3 times featured in Vogue magazine, and more widely known for her role in the GLAAD award-winning reality series Strut. She is the current face of Truvada and hosts her own LGBTQ dating segments on Grindr's YouTube channel called What the Flip. She hosted the first ever sold-out Los Angeles LGBTQ Pride Festival. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Arisce Wanzer. Arisce, how are you today?
Hello, I'm doing quite good. It's a beautiful day in LA.
Good. Yes, it is. And I want to thank you again, Arisce, for taking your time today to be on our #1 podcast. It's a pleasure to have you. I hope 2021
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. You're welcome. And I hope 2021 is off to a good start for you.
Oh, yeah, it's trailing.
That's good. Good. So, Arisce, you're a trans supermodel, which is absolutely amazing. And I have to tell you, from what I have seen, you absolutely own the runway. Your walk is just stunning. And my question for you is, when did you start high fashion runway modeling?
First, thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Let's see, when did I start high fashion? I've been a model since I was 17, but I didn't start high fashion until when I moved to New York, so I want to say I was 22 or 23.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to say I was 23 years old when I got signed to a New York agency and I started doing the real high fashion stuff that, everybody dreams of doing.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. So you started when you were 17 modeling.
Yes.
And then you got into high fashion in your early 20s.
Yeah, so I started out in like JCPenney catalogs, the local penny savers, mall fashion shows. I always tell kids now, like, there was no elevator to success back in my day. There was no TikTok stars. Like, you had to take the stairs.
That's great. So with hard work comes good rewards. And as I mentioned, Arisce, you were on the cover of Vogue Germany. How did that make you feel, and how did that help your modeling career?
It was big, like it was really big for me, but like, I don't know if it did anything for my career. I get to use it as a benchmark. Like when people want me to do something that like is kind of like below my pay grade, I'm like, no, I've been in Vogue Germany. I don't have to. No.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. And so, because people like, okay, so let's say you get photographers that want to work with you all the time, and I love working with photographers, but sometimes the photographer is not really at your shoot level yet. Like I can't use the images, because you're shooting with each other for free, which means you're both getting something out of this. They get to put me in their portfolio. I get to put them in mine.
Right.
And so I'm not getting anything out of this by like going and spending 14 hours with you, and these are like wedding photo grade photos. Like I'm like, you're not exactly where I'm at. I'm literally on a different plane there. And so it's not that you're above anyone else, it's just that my skill set is above where yours is at. And so this isn't mutually beneficial. And so I would be wasting a day of my time to kind of just kiss your ass, basically, telling you're such a great photographer when I know that you're not.
Right. So you kind of have you kind of set a bar level, and you prefer to work with the photographers who are at your level, in terms of their photography camera work, so that they can capture the images that you are accustomed to and that you are trained to do and that you are stunning doing.
Thank you. No, yeah, so yeah, very that. Like it's just that there's nothing I can do with the images because I can't, like, what am I showing these to industry people? Like they're gonna say, what is she doing in these kinds of
Mm-hmm.
images? It's just, it's
Mm-hmm.
not, it doesn't help me and it doesn't help them either because they're just thinking, why is she here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Now, do you have some photographers that are your go-to photographers when you really want to, be the spotlight?
Yeah, no, I will shout out some really amazing photographers. David Laffey is a great photographer. He's shot me in a lot of nightlife things, but he catches just the right angle to where you only need one shot. And then,
Amazing.
yeah, so if you want someone to take your picture in the dark, you better call David Laffey. And so,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, because he comes with several lights just attached to him at all times. It's great. But
Amazing.
and Martin Salgo shot my most favorite pictures to this date. And he's an incredible photographer. He shot these very Marilyn Monroe-esque photos of me with a black turtleneck that I use for
Hmm.
everything. And then
Amazing.
Sean Badella is an amazing photographer and a retoucher. If like you can have a face full of acne and Sean Badella will make you look like $1 million.
Wow.
Like you've got the smoothest skin you've ever seen and it all looks like skin. So you know, everyone has their different skill set and that's why I go, these are my go-to people. Like they're great. And then
Right.
yeah, I would be remiss if a great landscape photographer I know is Dustin Sohn, and he shot some really great scenic stuff of me out in nature,
Uh-huh.
and like so you want these kinds of people
Hmm.
in your corner so that you have a dynamic look, like you have a dynamic portfolio,
Hmm.
but just their skills are what this is about. Like they're such great artists and they're so good at what they do. Like you just want to be their muse. So you want to be part of their world.
That's amazing. And, especially in this industry, Arisce, it's always more beneficial if you have a team that you work really well together with, that you're accustomed to, and they know you, you know them. And when you show up on set, you know exactly what to expect. Where, there are some people in the industry, whether, they're a model, or an actress or whatever it may be, and they show up on set and the photographer doesn't know them, they don't know the photographer, and like you said, I mean, it's kind of like, you're standing there taking, doing your poses and taking your photos, and really, in the back of your head you're like, okay, you're not the greatest photographer. I can tell these shots are not going to come out so great. Like, oh my God, where's my team? So, it kind of, it seems like you definitely have that comfort level, with certain photographers and the certain team that you have in your corner.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more because it goes both ways. Like let's say someone hires a model who isn't as seasoned as moi, and
Uh-huh.
she shows up late. Let's say she doesn't fit the clothes. Let's say she like they said to have come with dirty hair. She came with clean hair. Like these are just basic notes that
Uh-huh.
you have to take into account, and which makes you a professional. And so what you want to do is you
Absolutely.
want to work with professionals. Like I don't want to get to set and they haven't even set up the lighting. And I'm like, wait, so I should be here an hour later from now
Yeah.
because like if we had to show up and my hair's done, my makeup's done, why am I watching you guys set up lighting? And then that's not professional.
Right.
And so, yeah, you want to get people that know what they're doing. It's less of a headache for everyone. And then you're in and out of there. It's so fast when you're working with good people.
Yeah, and I can only imagine that it makes it makes the job run smooth, and it makes it fun too. And like you said, you're in and out. So another thing, Arisce, you own your own clothing line as well. What?
Sure, yeah.
Well, what is the clothing line called, and what products do you sell, and how can our listeners purchase your products?
Well, my products are on dragqueenmerch.com and they specialize in LGBTQIA celebrities stuff. So it's not just drag queens. It's there's a lot of trans performers on there. There's a lot of gay celebrities on there, lesbian celebrities on there, like that just sell their merch through them because they're a great company. They ship worldwide.
Mhm.
And you can get my face on a mug, you can get it on a sweater, a hoodie, a t-shirt, a tank top. I don't know if I do dog clothes yet, but I used to. But
That's amazing.
yeah, it's funny. But yeah, but and then my my art that's on my shirts are by Tom Taylor and Bent Mob. And then one is my
Okay.
Vogue cover photo, but I couldn't have the Vogue over my head, so I had to have that erased because I couldn't sell it with Vogue's logo.
Right, right. And can you say the website one more time, please, just so all of our listeners around the world can check that website out?
Oh yeah, dragqueenmerch.com. You're gonna click on artists and you're gonna click on Arisce Wanzer. I'm in the A's. So yeah.
That's amazing. And like you said, you can get coffee mugs of Arisce. You can get tank tops, hoodies, T-shirts. So please support Arisce and her small business. And you'll also have a beautiful, stunning, gorgeous model on your coffee mug every morning when you drink your coffee. So Arisce, also too, where is your favorite place that you have ever done a modeling shoot? Whether it's another country, another city, a certain studio. What's your favorite place where you've ever done a modeling shoot?
So I had two, and I did them with the aforementioned Dust and Stone because they were landscape. So it was more than just the clothes and the pose I'm selling. It's just like this entire environment. And so one would be Antelope Valley. And that's where the
Okay.
poppy fields like bloom every year. And we actually didn't use it for that. We found these most amazing dirt roads with like mountains behind. And so I
Wow.
always wanted like a hitchhiking photo. And I have a really sick ass hitchhiking photo of me in, I don't know, like $6,000 worth of clothes and a vintage
Oh my
suitcase
God.
we got, yeah, at an antique store on the way there. Like we didn't even know what we were doing. And in between shots, like it's Dustin literally throwing a tumbleweed at me so we can catch it in the shot, and I have it on video as well. But it's just, it was such a great experience, and the wind was super high that day, and it just looked like a dream photo shoot. And then my second one was also with Dustin Stone, and it was in Death Valley.
Uh-huh.
And it was just the cracked earth, like it's like this field of cracked earth where it's just so dry that it looks like cracked skin all over the desert. And there's
Wow.
more mountains in the background. Yeah, and then there's more mountains in the background, this blue sky, and it's just me, and I'm in bathing suit bottoms and some really cool shoes. And he literally, it was Dustin's idea to tie a scarf my around my upper half, my boobs, and
Uh-huh.
had it trail behind me in the wind. So it was a really great effect that and it's crazy because we spent the entire night at Death Valley. Like we were shooting the day before, and so we spent the night in Death Valley, like camping, and
Oh, that's so fun.
yeah, and so we could see like every star in the sky. It was absolutely beautiful, and we were driving home, and that's when we passed the field, and I said, "Oh my God, stop! This is perfect. Like this is
Uh-huh.
the perfect set to shoot like an ethereal ass." Crazy shot, and we
Uh-huh.
got it, and it's been used several times over in different publications.
Oh, that's so amazing. See, it's just a matter of, timing is everything, right? And when you're an artist and something catches your eye or something captures your eye and you're like, oh my God, stop. We have to do a shot here. This is so epic. You go with your gut, you go with your heart. And that's the beautiful thing about art. And especially with modeling too, is, sometimes locations can really make the shot. And aside from locations that
Mhm.
make the shot, it's also the model, obviously, the clothing. Where are you from originally, Arisce? And when did you move to LA and why LA?
I am originally from Woodbridge, Virginia, which is 30 minutes from DC. And so, yeah, I have a really nice family. They're supportive, they're professionals. They're like a regular American family. I moved to LA 7 years ago this January. And it's been really good to me. I love LA. I actually moved out here to quit modeling. I was my whole
Oh,
plan
wow.
was to, yeah, I moved here with $136 and two suitcases, and
Oh
one
my
way ticket.
gosh.
Yeah, and so I was sleeping on a couch for half a year, like 7 months. It was like
Uh-huh.
with friends, and I literally moved here to just work at Starbucks and date surfers. That was my only goal. It's like
I love it.
yeah,
Good for
and
you.
thank you.
That's
Yeah, no, I don't know, New York, because I moved here from New York City, and I lived in New York City for 3 years, and I was just, you work every single day in New York City,
uh-huh.
all day. If you go to a party, you're working. If you go out with friends, you're working. This is all work because you're networking, you're schmoozing, you're kissing ass, you're trying to keep a game face on. You have to be the most best dressed person in the room all the time. You have to, it's just constantly trying to book that next gig. It's just,
Absolutely.
yeah, it is a hustler city. And so that was cute for my 20s. Never again. So you have to be, for New York, you have to be really young or really rich. And so,
Uh-huh.
yeah, because that's all that that city takes. So I moved to LA.
Yeah.
I was burnt out of modeling. I was really tired of it. And I just felt like I'd done enough. I thought, you know what, I've really tried to make a mark and they don't seem to want it. So I'm leaving. Like, I don't
Uh-huh.
care. Like, I don't care
Uh-huh.
this much. Like, I'm not going to kill myself for this. And
Right.
so, yeah, so I moved and I'd only planned on nothing. And then I got everything.
That's so wonderful. See, everything happens for a reason. And, one door will close, another door will open. And, you said that, you left New York and you wanted to get out of modeling. And that's why you left New York and you wanted to work at Starbucks and date surfers. And that's, something that, it could not have been a very easy decision for you. I can only imagine how tough of a decision it must have been for you because, like you said, it is a grind. Before you took that, that jump across country from New York City to LA, and then even in LA or back in New York City, what modeling job to this day, as we speak, did you have the absolute most fun working on and why?
I feel like I get a lot of fun ones because being trans means you're constantly like in gimmick mode. Like you're kind of like a diversity hire all the time. So you're
Mhm.
always second guessing yourself whether they hired you for your talent because they thought that you were the most qualified person for the job, or is it just because they had to have a trans person to be on trend? And so you never really know. But the most fun jobs I get to have are with my slay model family because I'm at an all trans modeling agency that was built around me, and the owner says it all the time.
Wow, that's
Um,
amazing. Good for you.
Thank you. Yeah, and so I am their little prototype of what kind of girls they're going to be putting in there, and guys and non-binary people as well now. Um, but
Hmm.
when I get to shoot with them, it is the most fun that I have because we all want the same thing, and we're all trying to normalize being around in the industry and getting hired as qualified people, not just as someone's token.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so and they're just the hardest working people I know because we have something to prove. Because you
Yeah,
meet a lot
that's
of models who just, they've been pretty their whole life and they don't really have a message behind this. They just, they're here to make some money and they don't care. And that's all about well and good. It's just, we're not going to have a lot in common because I'm
hmm.
here to change the status quo. I'm trying to just make a seat at the table for us, and I have been for a long time. And so when I see that my table is getting longer and working out, and that there are girls and boys and non-binary kids coming up behind me saying to me, like, because I'll be shooting with these people, and they're just like, "I've been watching you for years, and you're the one that made me think I could do this." It is
Uh-huh.
really humbling, and yeah, it makes me happy. I'm not having kids because I've got a bunch.
Yeah, that's amazing, and I commend you for that. You take your modeling career very seriously, and but you also have fun at the same time. Now, when you say, quote unquote, the kids, when you walk on set as a professional model, do you have a certain platform that you bring to the set?
Yeah, mine would just be to always be a professional and always be fun to work with because it'll get you every job you'll ever have.
Yeah, that's great. Personality is
Because
everything, right?
it really is. If you're like not a nice person, if you're not nice to the hair people, if you're not nice to the makeup artists, you're not getting hired again.
Yeah, no, that's understandable for sure. So, Arisce, too, I also, in doing your research on you, I see that you do have a dog, and your dog seems to be a huge part of your life. We have to give your dog a big shout out on the You Gotta Be Bullshilling Me podcast. And again, ladies and gentlemen, our VIP guest this week is Arisce Wanzer, a trans supermodel on the cover of Vogue magazine 3 times. And we're talking about her modeling career, moving from New York City to LA. And now we're also talking about her dog. And shortly before that, we talked about some of the things that Arisce likes to bring to set in terms of being professional and being prepared and being nice to everyone on set, whether it's hair and makeup, wardrobe, anyone on set that's working, photographers, lighting, grip, production assistants, directors, whatever it may be, or other people that you're shooting with, in a modeling shoot. It's always best to have a good personality and come prepared. So, Arisce, your dog, first of all, I would love to know, is your dog a boy or a girl?
She is non-binary. No, I'm just kidding. Could you? She's a girl.
That's awesome.
She's a crazy girl.
What kind of dog is she?
She is a Maltese poodle, so a multi-poo.
Oh, so cute and so smart, I bet too, right? Those poodles are so smart.
She's so smart. She was incredibly easy to train. She's super quiet. She's a set dog, so she's been to set with me at least 6 times.
Wow.
And everybody on set loves her. She's quiet. She goes to her little basket when she's like tired of people. She plays with her toys. She minds her business. She's really good.
That's great. And what is her name?
Her name is Baba Moon. So Baba like a sheep. I was gonna name her Moon Sheep because she just looks like a sheep to me.
Yeah, I love it.
But she's special. I love her.
That is so wonderful. So what do you enjoy doing for fun when you're not on set, especially with your dog, your baby?
I am in my mid-30s, so I like people watching. And so it could be at a bar, and I'm usually with my dog. Like, I will absolutely bring her to the bar. I don't leave her at home because I don't know how long we're going to be there. So it's best she just is with me. And then I love, sitting in the pier in Venice. Like, I usually sit in like the little grassy knoll areas with her, and we watch people skate by, bike by, walk by, and you just hear conversations and see people doing yoga, and you can just people watch. And so we people watch together. It's super fun. I like people watching. People watching with some coffee, people watching with a drink.
Yeah. I'm the same way too, Arisce, when I'm in the airport and, waiting at the gate. I mean, it's just so unbelievable when you watch people in the airport. I mean, you literally see every kind of person that you could possibly think of and or imagine just by sitting at the gate in the airport and watching people. So I think that's amazing, and it's to be said, especially as an actor myself and as a producer myself, a lot of, you can learn a lot from someone by, nonverbal communication, if not more than you can by verbal communication. Just by looking at them, their eyes will tell a story, or their body language will tell a story, or their walk will tell a story. So I definitely agree with you that, people watching is definitely fun for sure. And so, Arisce, I know that, you were saying too earlier in the interview that, you left New York City to kind of, start another chapter, so to speak, in your life, but also continue modeling, as much as you can. And with that being said, what are your personal goals as not only as a model, but also as a supermodel down the line for you in your future? Is modeling something that you would like to do for another 30, 40, 50 years? Or are you kind of like, at this age, I feel like I'm going to call it quits and I want to try something different? Or what are your modeling goals down the line for yourself personally?
So my modeling goals are just, book more stuff, book more commercial stuff because it pays better. And yeah, that's about it. I don't think I'll ever stop being a model. It's kind of ingrained in me, just the lifestyle. It's definitely what I do. And then, but I'm absolutely moving into different areas of entertainment, like doing talk show stuff. I've been hosting like the main stage at Pride, things where I get to speak, because modeling does not require talking almost ever.
Right, right, right. Yeah, it's, they're taking photos of you and, you're not really speaking, you're, looking beautiful. But
Yeah.
that's great, as long as, you want to continue to do what you love to do and what you're passionate about doing. And also, you're doing what makes you happy. And, that's the most important thing is, there's a lot of people who go to work every day, no matter what they're doing. And they're like, oh my God, I hate my job. This sucks. This is awful. I wish I was doing something else. But, to be able to do something, for your career that actually love and are passionate about, it just makes it so much more fun.
I absolutely. I think that if, like, that's my advice to anybody. If you're doing something you don't love right now, you've got to start doing something you do love and kind of venture into that direction and not be afraid to fail, because I have failed more times than I've succeeded. And I just succeeded
Mhm.
big when I did. And so
Mhm.
the thing is, Jane Fonda had a really great quote, and they said, what advice would you give someone that wants to be in entertainment? She said, then do it if you want to do it. She said, the time is going to pass anyway. Every job becomes a job. I have my complaints about modeling, just like she probably has her complaints about acting. Like every
Uh-huh.
job has its thing, but make sure it's a thing that you're choosing, that you like to deal with. It's just fine, because I prefer the perks with this job, and like versus the complaints.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's a beautiful quote, and I couldn't agree with you and Jane more. I mean, that's from your mouth to God's ears. What would you personally like to see done from a law enforcement and government perspective regarding trans violence and trans rights?
I would just like some real acknowledgement, like a few hundred trans women in America, no, a few hundred women died last year, trans people, of violence.
Oh my gosh,
Um,
horrible, horrible.
Yeah, so like really homicide because they died. But and we only got, this is the statistic I do know, we only got 15 minutes of collective airtime on all the major news stations. No, 54 minutes. It was 54 minutes for a whole year of all these deaths, hundreds of deaths. And I thought that is so shitty, to know that your life isn't valued like anybody else's. When I always say this, like, if I don't have the same rights as everyone else, I don't want to pay taxes anymore,
Hmm.
because I pay so much fucking money in taxes to ensure that I have the same rights as every red-blooded American, and we are treated like third-class citizens. And I'm like, that's bullshit. That's bullshit.
Hmm.
I want my money back, because I'm
Yeah.
not getting the dream I was promised.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head for sure. And I'm a huge advocate for the LGBTQ community myself. I'm actually an awarded humanitarian because I'm an advocate for the LGBTQ community.
Oh.
And like you said, to see the stuff that you see on the news, it's very brief. First of all, when they do talk about it, and second of all, it's something that I think it needs to be a topic that is discussed more. I feel that it's a topic that not only the politicians and our government officials, but also law enforcement need to enforce more.
Yeah.
And there's got to be
One
some
more thing.
policy and some structure in place that protects trans women as well as trans men.
Yeah, no, and one more thing, what I need to see in these news stations when they are reporting our deaths, I'm so sick of it. It is triggering to hear possible hate crime happen to trans person. What the fuck do you mean possible hate crime? Like, it
Right.
was, are you joking? That,
Right.
I'm pretty sure them being trans was a factor in their death. Don't be dumb. Please don't call them possible hate crimes, because it is infuriating to people who aren't stupid.
Yeah, no, that's no, absolutely. You're absolutely correct. And it's just the ignorance of people in our society who who don't have the knowledge and they just go, off, based on stereotypes and, things like that, or, maybe something that they have heard or seen. And really it's it's a horrible act of violence. It's an act of violence that should never be, it should never happen. And it's an act of violence that should be taken seriously to the full extent of the law. And that's my opinion. Now, speaking on that, Arisce, as a model, as a supermodel, have you personally ever encountered discrimination on any set that you have worked on for being a trans woman?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It was more New York than anywhere else, where they would, I got booked for a runway job, and I
Mm-hmm.
literally get to the show. I'll never forget this. I got to the backstage at the show, and
Mm-hmm.
everyone looking at me like my head's cut off. And I was like, okay, hello? Like, I got the confirmation email where I was supposed to be. And then the director of the show comes up and says, oh, you know what? We're really not doing the trans thing this season. And so we're so sorry. I said, are you serious? Like, I
Wow.
took the train all the way the fuck down here. I think I was in 14th Street. It was Fashion Week. And I
Uh-huh.
lived in Washington Heights. So I was on 163rd. So that's like 50 streets down on the train. Like, what a waste of my fucking time. And
Wow.
they
Yeah.
didn't have the courtesy to just tell me that I'd been fired because they weren't doing the trans thing this season. I'll never forget that, because I felt shattered, but I felt more angry that I wasted my time. I was like, that was a waste of time, because I was so used to hearing such bigoted shit,
Uh-huh.
that I didn't even think about the bigoted factor. I thought of like, what a waste of my fucking time. Like, I could have been doing anything else right now.
Right. No, absolutely. Now, do you still get paid for that? Or is that
No, I was
something where,
fired.
oh, wow. So the
Yeah.
director can just say, okay, we're not going to do the trans portion of the shoot, so just go home and you don't get paid. Like
Yeah,
that's,
no, and it was a fashion
that,
show. All I had to do was walk down a runway with clothes on. And what's funny is, like, I know exactly what the designer's name is, and
uh-huh.
they had to close their shops up a couple of years ago because they just weren't selling. And so I thought, what great fucking karma. Fuck you.
Yeah.
No, because I'm still here. I'm still here, Dick, and
Yeah.
you're not.
Yeah,
So
no, absolutely. Yeah. It's the old expression, the old phrase, like look at me now and look at you. And actually, something that's very important in this industry too, Arisce, it's my quote, which is be nice to the people on your elevator ride up, because you
yeah,
never
because
know
you're
who you're
not
going
gonna
to pass on your elevator ride down. Exactly.
exactly.
Exactly. Exactly. So, what would you say to a trans woman who is on the fence about becoming a trans model? What's the best advice that you would give to her about becoming a trans model?
Well, first, um, you're a model. Like, so you're going to be held to modeling standards, but you're going to be
Hmm.
treated like a trans person until everyone gets their shit together. And
Hmm.
so you're going to have the same measurements, go under the same skin routines, have the same hair care, skin care, teeth bleaching, everything like that. Like everything that comes with modeling, you have to be ready to shoot at any fucking time. I always tell people, like, they're like, oh, I'm getting my bikini body ready. Mine never left. My bikini body has been here for 17 years because
Amazing.
you can
Amazing.
get a call. That's what I mean by, that's what I said. Like, I'll be a model 30 years from now because it is ingrained in me. This is who I am. I don't have a lot of other skills.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's just something I do naturally. And so I think it's
That's
just,
great.
and I think that happens to a lot of girls that are in the industry for a long time. Because I have friends that I've grown alongside in this industry, and they're the exact same, and they're still modeling, and we're all well in our 30s. And it's, we were told our careers would be over by now, and that's just not the case if you take care of yourself. Yeah, so you will be held to that standard where you need to shoot with no makeup on. At the drop of a hat. You need to be ready. Like, sometimes my agent will send me an order for Polaroids. He goes, okay, so we need some fresh digitals.
Hmm.
I call them Polaroids because I'm old school. But we used to send them Polaroids because you couldn't edit Polaroids. So now we send digitals. So they want like phone pictures. Um,
Uh-huh.
and they can't be from .facetune.org. Like, you have to send who you are, what you look like. And so that modeling is very much a beauty industry. They want to know that you are fine on your own with no makeup. And they want to, like, it's it's very ageist, but it's moving from that, I find, because I used
Uh-huh.
to lose a lot of jobs to younger girls, but now I'm getting hired because I can do the job faster usually,
Mm-hmm.
because I just know what I'm doing, and I'm going to show up on time. I don't get on anyone's nerves typically. um,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
wonderful.
So my advice to a trans girl that wants to get into modeling is make sure this is exactly what you want to do, because they're going to fucking put you through it. And if you don't want to do it, you're going to quit really quickly.
Wow. Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
it's a lot of it's gotta, with all the success too, there's gotta be some stress that comes with it, especially in modeling. Like you
Yeah, for
said,
sure. There's a lot of stress.
yeah, and like you said just now, about keeping your body fit and staying beautiful, and having that bikini body, ready to go because you can get that call anytime. I mean, that's got to be it's got to be pretty stressful. And I can, that's something that it seems that you've had some success in your career due to the fact that you can go at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, no. I take my job seriously, and so and I want to do well. I want to do well. I want to be revered as a professional, as someone who is really good at what she does. And so, like, I always tell people I haven't had birthday cake in like 12 years. Like my friend, it's not part of it. Like when people are like, oh, let's go out for ice cream. I'm like, no, you guys can go. It's not part of, it's not part of what I do. Like it's literally my job. My body is my job. And so things
Uh-huh.
are changing to where they're including plus size models, and they're changing to, they're getting a little more lifestyle, but high fashion is not budging an inch. It is not changing at all. They say they're changing. They say they're getting more inclusive, but they're just as sizist, ageist, and racist as ever.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. And that's, you gotta stay relevant in the industry for sure. But you also have to make sure that, that you're looking out for yourself personally, first and foremost,
Yeah.
in terms of health and happiness. So you're known, Arisce, to be the meme queen on your Instagram.
Oh yeah.
And
That is
I have to ask you, because after looking at your Instagram and looking at your stories and seeing all the memes that you post, where in the world do you find these memes? Because they're absolutely amazing.
Thank you. I am quite the meme curator because I have a really good sense of humor, I think.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Thank you. No, and so I'm very political, so I like to send out a message to people. Like I don't have, like my fans are not like the Kardashian clan. Like I don't have stupid fans, and I know that sounds bitchy, but it is. I don't care.
Hmm.
There
Hmm.
are people who think, there are people who vote, there are people who do read the news and do care what's going on in the world. And so I
Right.
get the chance to laugh in between the news bombs that I drop. So I will talk about what's happening in Myanmar right now, but I'm also going to post a dick sucking meme right after it, because
Yeah.
you know it's not all bad, folks. Sometimes life is really funny. Sometimes it's very serious, because I hate doom and gloom.
Hmm.
I think
Hmm.
it's negative. I think it's boring. I think it's propaganda to be afraid all the time. And
Hmm.
so I just think that you just should know that there's a balance in the world. There's good and there's bad. Like this is really funny and we can laugh at life, but we can also know that like we should be petitioning to get this racist statue taken down.
Right. No, absolutely. And there's like they say, there's a time to be serious, but there's also a time to laugh and have fun and enjoy life. And
Yeah.
you have to be able to know how to balance that. And like you said, you can have some fun with your stories on your Instagram, because yeah, your stories are I find myself laughing at pretty much all of them. They're hysterical. So, folks, you have to, at the end of the show, when Arisce shares her social media handle, you'll have to make sure that you do follow Arisce's Instagram and check out her stories and her memes and her posts, because they are hysterical. So, Arisce, every week I do discuss two topics that I think of during the week. They are different every week and different with every guest. Topic one with you
Mhm.
this week, Arisce, is this: do you feel that trans women can find true love, or do you feel that men have a quote unquote fetish and or a quote unquote fantasy about just being with a trans woman?
I find true love every week. No, I'm just kidding.
I love it.
I don't know. So I think it's absolutely possible. I have so many trans girlfriends who are married and like booed up and have like stepchildren and live in upstate New York. But so you can absolutely find true love. But my advice to girls of any age or anybody, I think, like, don't go looking for love, because that's not how you find it. And so like love is something that happens to you, and it is not something you can plan out. Like, you can't be on a first date saying, I'm looking for something long term. Well, I think you should really just see how it plays out, because you could say you want something long term with someone who's completely toxic for you, and you're sending them all the right signals to manipulate you. You should absolutely just, feel things out. Try, like, get to know someone, let them get to know you, decide, do you like them? Why are you trying to impress someone that you might not even like, or he doesn't check all of your boxes? Or because everybody has their exception to all their little rules of boxes that they check, and you need to find your exception.
From your dating and love life, is it one of your criterias is to make sure that the man or woman or whoever it may be is that they check off every single box on your list, or are you okay with having 2 or 3 boxes unchecked?
My thing is, I think I have just some main boxes that need to be checked. So I think you need to love what you do, because I don't want to hear you bitching about your job all the time.
Right.
Because you're not going to hear that shit from me, and it's just a song that gets fucking old. And then I think you have to be a whole person, because I don't need my other half. I need a whole person on their own to contribute to me being a whole person, so I don't ever have to pick up the slack for you.
Right.
And so, like, we can help each other grow together, versus watch you fall apart and then try to keep giving you my oxygen mask while the plane's going down.
Yeah.
And
No,
so
that's great. So you have some of the boxes that are you're firm on, and I agree with I agree with you 100%. And I say this a lot, and people tell me too, and I get the sense, you and I have never met in person. Hope one day we do, but I can tell that you are, you have a great personality and you're a people person, and it's just like me too, where people are like, Brian, your personality is amazing, and it's just one of those things where like you said, like I personally can't stand people who are miserable, because misery loves company.
exactly.
And it's like, why do I want to go sit down at the dinner table and have dinner with someone when all they're going to do is bitch and complain about this, and this? I'm like, I don't want that. Like, I want to laugh. I want to have fun. I want to enjoy this. Let's enjoy life. Let's love life, and let's have some fun. Like, I don't want to go out with a wet blanket and have, like I said, misery loves company. And that's just the worst. It's a worst, it's the worst feeling. It makes, it can make you very uncomfortable too, at the same time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And back to the fetishization question, I do think that men fetishize trans women. But I think the red flags of them are very quick to come up if you're really paying attention. So if you're being really desperate and you're going to ignore all those flags, you're going to get what's coming to you. And you're going to get this chaser, we call them chasers, who is just kind of, adding you to his bedpost list, because they just collect trans women that they fuck. And that's just the reality of the situation. And
wow,
it's not my reality. I'm like, no, I don't think so. I don't know. I think I have really good discernment when it comes to that, because I feel like guys give you their tell pretty quickly. Like, yeah.
That's great. Yeah. And, having good discernment is good. It's like me too with discernment, and that's, it makes you wiser and it makes you smarter for sure. So topic number 2, Arisce, this week with you is, what are your thoughts about women's posts on Instagram? Because I mean, sincerely and literally, Arisce, 99% of these women, they might as well just post themselves naked. And I feel that these women just want the attention. They want people to like and to comment. And honestly, really, when you think about it, I feel it's an insecurity issue with these women. And I wanted to ask you, what are your thoughts?
I think it's an issue with society and how they treat women. And so we're sold sex all day, every day, and told that women should be really hot, horny virgins.
Hmm.
And so, like, and we're just taught that all of us should look like Victoria's Secret models, and we should love wearing lingerie every day, and that we should have big bouncy hair, and all just look like the Little Mermaid. And so it's you're taught that from such a young age. Like all the Barbies and images we're given of what the perfect girl is, and it's just this wife and mother. It's an antiquated a view of what women are and should be, and so it's more society's issue of what they think a woman should be. And so when they've been sexualizing women all of our lives, and so women try to own their own sexuality, and people start to have a problem with it
Hmm.
because they're used to women being exploited. It has to be okay and come from the male gaze for it to be acceptable and for it to be marketable. But when women try to sell themselves, it's suddenly desperate.
Hmm.
And so I just don't, I think they should own it. I think they should saturate the market and just have ass and pussy out everywhere because then it will finally, like, we can normalize a conversation about sex that we're not having because
Right.
they still think so much in a puritanical sense of like, oh, a good Christian girl would never. And I'm like, fuck a good Christian girl.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't exist. That same girl
Yeah,
in the club Saturday night shaking her ass for some money. And so no, and she should get your money how you need to, sis.
yeah, yeah.
But like, let's please stop selling this idea that there's a good or bad type of person or um yeah, some person that we should all try to be like, because I don't want to
Uh-huh.
be like anybody else. I like being like me. I'm really pretty when someone gives me money, but
Yeah.
I yeah, but I look like a bridge troll when I'm home alone. I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck. I'm like I always tell my friends like because they'll be like, oh, do you want to come out tonight? I'm like, I'm having a really good time being ugly in peace. And so because I don't want to, I just don't want to do the whole shit show of what the performance is of being a woman in public. And all
Uh-huh.
girls do it.
Uh-huh.
It's all performance. And so RuPaul says it best, like we're all born naked and the rest is drag. And so
Mhm.
it is
I
literal.
love it.
So the Kardashians, those are all drag queens. They
Yeah.
are because without the hair and without the makeup, because they all have expensive wigs on, they all have pounds of makeup on. They're beautiful girls, but those they do not look like that. Those are
Uh-huh.
regular people in drag. Dolly Parton is a drag queen who's self-professed. She says it. Dita Von Teese is a drag queen. These women do not look like that.
Hmm.
And so
Hmm.
it's drag. Like when you put on that much makeup and that much hair and that much corsetry and the boobs pushed up and the ass injections, it's drag. And
Yeah.
so it's high drag too.
Yeah.
It's some good shit. And
That's a
so
great way to look at it. I never thought of that. And now that you say that and I'm thinking about it here, I'm like, you know what? That really makes sense. That's connecting a lot of the dots.
yeah, one of my favorite scenes in any movie ever is the Ursula song in The Little Mermaid, because Ursula
Hmm.
is teaching Ariel that gender is performance. Because she says, without my voice, how will I get him? She goes, you have your looks, your pretty face, and don't underestimate the importance of body language. And then she
Yes.
starts putting on makeup and she starts shaking her ass and she starts adorning herself with like jewels. I'm like, this is drag. This is
Yeah.
high drag. Gender is performance. And so these women taking it back from what they've been sold and told they were supposed to be like, I say, do it, bitch.
Yeah. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, Arisce says, do it, bitch. And I love it. That's great. So, Arisce, how can all of our listeners around the world find you on all of your social media?
They can find me at Aristocrat, Aricestocrat on Twitter. I think even Tumblr, for Christ's sake. I don't know if it's deleted. But Instagram, yeah, Instagram. I have a verified page on Facebook that's Arisce Wanzer, where you're going to see my family-friendly content. So and then, yeah, you're going to find my merch at dragqueenmerch.com. All right. And then my memes are always in my stories. So my actual page, or people see my page and they're like, why are all these people calling this bitch the meme queen? You have to go, yeah, you have to go to my stories because every day I post a ton of stories and you will not leave not entertained. You will be entertained.
Yes, and you will laugh and laugh and laugh, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and they're not basic memes. I don't post stuff that everyone's posting. I do deep cut shit that's a little dark sometimes, which is really fun for me. But at Aristocrat, at Aristocrat on Instagram, and I've got my little blue check mark, and I am a supermodel. It says transgender supermodel, I think.
I love it, and I love you all. Arisce, thank you so much again for joining us today. We will definitely have you back on our show down the line. Next week, we have another very, very special guest. Also, if you would like to be a guest on our show, you can email thinkschilling@gmail.com, and also follow us on all social media at thinkschilling. Until then, remember that trans lives matter. And this is Brian C. Schilling, your host of the You Gotta Be Bullshilling Me podcast. Until then, peace out. Arisce Wanzer, sincerely, thank you so much for joining us this week. It was a pleasure to have you. You were so much fun. I know our audience is going to just be so engaged.
Well, thank you very much for having me. This was really fun.
You're welcome. Thank you, and stay safe and stay healthy, and we'll definitely have you on the show again. Thank you, Arisce.